Thank you, Todd. I'm super excited about the podcast today because I have two very, very special guests today. I have our leader, Aki Verma, and he's joining me today. An amazing journey here at IT by Design. And then I have Anuta. She is a global HR expert. And guys, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Sunny. And I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you so much for your invitation.
Thank you, Sunny. It's been a pleasure. It's a pleasure and an honor. So I'm looking forward and totally excited.
Thank you, Anuta. So I'm going to start with Aki. Aki, you are with us from 10 years, and you have 13 years of experience in this IT sector. You are our global service delivery manager, and amazing journey here. Can you share your journey, your career journey with our audience?
Sure, Sunny. The journey actually starts from India. So from a small city, Jalandhar, I did my graduation, bachelor's in computer science. And after my bachelor's, I got the opportunity to work with a couple of big vendors, Dell primarily. And I also had a little bit of work experience with Wipro. So during that time, I was working with these big vendors, and I was a part of their team, and spent a lot of time talking to our US customers. So I've always been a part of the US technical support organizations, supporting computers, networks, and then made my switch from more of a business process outsourcing to a complete IT industry. And that's when, Sunny, we met in India back in 2011.
I know, Mohali, Quark Media.
Yeah, I remember that time, and you interviewed me, and you did not give me the opportunity actually to join IT by Design because I was not that really technically savvy. But after a few more months, I went back and I did a little bit of learning once again, increased my knowledge, and I reappeared for the interviews. And that's when you said that, okay, and I'm ready to hire you. So that's really when my career started in the IT industry, 2011. And it's been a phenomenal journey so far. Worked in almost every single department in IT by Design, and really got to experience every single part of the organization. And today, IT by Design gave me this opportunity to really take on, one of the biggest roles in the organizations, and I'm trying to live up to that role every single day.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for your contributions there. I still remember when we were at Quark when you joined. I think we were less than 10 people there. And so over years, one thing I always, whenever I think of Aki, I know Aki is going to always make bigger choices. From that NOC leadership role that you had in India, from an engineer, right, to NOC management, and then coming here doing site engineering, racking and stacking everything. So a lot of on-site technical work. And then now you are in a leadership role where you have seat on the table. And the most recent skill that you have developed is a wellness expert. So you are our wellness leader now, and especially this year, what you brought to the table to add value to ITBD community is amazing, and we're going to share that a little bit later. And one piece that I really want us to talk about, Aki, is the Dell experience, like a bigger company. So your journey with Dell being a bigger company and what it looks like there, or what it feels like from learning, career development perspective, versus that 10 people company that we were when you joined. But I'm going to come back to you. Let me go to Anuta first. Anuta, can you please share your journey with us?
Well, Sunny, I've covered a good amount of time, 22 years, but it just seems like yesterday. And I started off my career as an IT professional. And like any other IT professional, I had the great American dream as well. So I got to the United States, unfortunately, exactly a month before 9/11, and kind of, witnessed a lot. I decided to come back. And I was also conscious about the fact that I wanted to be a multi-potentialite, So not just be focused on one industry purview, but also have, across industries exposure. And I also realized I was more of a people's person. I enjoyed talking more to the people than I did with laptops and computers. And I kind of took that on. I took HR as my mainstream. And I've worked with big and mid-size and small startups, big companies like Wipro, HCL, a mid-size firm like Steria. And now I've, diversified into other industries, saying Veolia, Mother Dairy, and a Dabur family-run business. So that's the wide range of work that I've done, but predominantly in HR.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit more about career and, what it takes for a professional to be successful, because you both are very, very successful professionals. And Anutha, you have more than 2 decades of HR experience. You are a global HR expert. And one thing I love about your approach is more of a humanitarian approach that you talk about always. And I think you have published something in that area as well, that taking that human element or humanitarian approach first. So I'm going to come back to you to talk about that piece. But let's start with, there's always something that is so special, so unique about every professional that makes them so successful. So Aki, if I ask you, what have you done in your career, in your life, that made you so successful that you want to share with our viewers that they should consider doing? What is that one thing?
Yeah, I will get to that, Sunny. But you also asked me a question about, what it was the difference between my experience working at Dell versus, switching back to IT by Design. So I'll tell you that it's day and night difference, right? I've spent almost 3 years working for Wipro and Dell Technologies. And when I gave my first interview at IT by Design, I was told that you're not technical enough for us, right? So that was a big eye opener for me. I always wanted to get into the core IT field. And what I realized is that, a lot of bigger organizations, the way they are structured, right? It starts from the structure. The way they are structured and organized, it is for them to make sure that there are efficiencies within their systems. And there is a lot of hierarchy set up in those organizations. And you really do not get complete exposure to a different segment of the business unless you move into that segment. What really happened with me at IT by Design is from the very first day, I got the opportunity and platform to work on every single technology that was out there. And that was just phenomenal for me because it gave me a platform to really test, understand, and make those mistakes and learn and improvise and get better by every single day. So IT by Design really challenged me in terms of my technical background. And I remember still, the first job that I got at IT by Design was to just answer the calls, right? Because my manager wanted me to get familiar with the clients, because in small or medium industry, people know you by your name. Right. And from a bigger company, you don't really know, who's going to call you, and you probably will never speak to that person again. So for me, that mindset was completely different, and it changed my outlook towards technology, towards people, towards customer relationship, towards everything else. Completely changed everything. So then, so talking to, getting exposure to help desk, to knock, Then coming on site, as you mentioned, then really getting into the fields, getting into the network or physical layer, which a lot of people don't really get exposure because they're working on virtual networks, or they're just having those ideas. Yeah, they never get to experience that. So it really changed it. The best part of working in a smaller company is that you get the opportunity. You get recognized very quickly, and you also get exposed very quickly. So you have to also make sure that you're constantly improving yourself. And one thing over the years, I was reflecting on my journey, that one thing that stood out with me, or which I carried forward till today, is being intentional. Being intentional about my professional or personal growth, being intentional about contributing to my organizational vision, mission, being intentional about my family, friends, everything. It just, if I want to summarize my journey, is it starts from being intentional. So that's one thing that I want to just share with our audience today.
Thank you, Aki. And those are great points. So when I look at Dell as well, and normally I think it is true with all the big companies. Their processes are set, and you got to just work on those. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. For example, where you worked, Dell Mohali, they had the desktop support, right? So first of all, it's desktop as a product, Dell as a product. They had everything written. You take this step 1, step 2, step 3 to do this, fixing things that you need to fix for these desktops. And it was more of a residential support, right?
Yep.
And when you came here with our environment, it's more, you get the opportunity to look at the routers and switches and firewalls, and you have to be a creative thinker as well, because you have to think out of the box, because that box is not set for you. So for people where they want to avail bigger opportunities, they want to challenge themselves, they want to kind of take bigger responsibilities. And yeah, I do see that. And thank you for sharing that with me. And Anita, so what have you done in your career that made you so successful that you think other professionals should consider?
I could talk about 3 focal points. Number 1, as I told you already, I traveled internationally. It was not just limited to the United States. I went to the UK, I went to Europe, I went to the Asia Pacific region. And what stood out for me was, human beings are the same everywhere. So we're all human beings at the end of the day. So the simple driving factor was, for me, as I chose HR, was being humanely resourceful. So that's what HR means to me. Yeah. And that's driven by 3 core values that defines me, and that I consciously chose in my career path. Was number 1, to be authentic. Number 2, to be high on integrity. And number 3 is to adapt and embrace change by being aware of the emerging trends. So I know the change is the only thing that, only constant, right? So that's what picks me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Yes, especially the world that we live in right now, and especially 2020, and talk about change and talk about speed of that change. Our tolerance level to that change has to go up, in the new world that we live in. And now my next question, Aki, to you is, and this is always very difficult to talk about, because it's easy to talk about our successes, and it's hard for us to talk about our failures. And I want to ask you, how has failure shaped your life? And what was that failure, and what did you learn from that failure?
Yeah, I think throughout my journey, I think it'll be a lie if I say I've never made a mistake. I've made so many mistakes, and I am grateful for my managers or my peers and my colleagues who identified those mistakes and helped me really learn out of those mistakes. So I got a bigger opportunity very early on in my life, and I did not really realize what it means and what it meant during that time for me. So I remember that conversation, Sunny. So overnight, I was given this big responsibility to lead the entire NOC division. And you know me personally that I say yes to all big things that happens, right? I have that courage to sign up for it. And I figured out later on that's always been one part of my personality, that I will always sign up. So I remember that mistake, not mistake, I would say, that learning from my early career gave me this big responsibility, and I took it, but I was not ready for it. And I did not recognize that. Wisdom to know when to say yes, when to say no is extremely important. When I selected that, I took that opportunity, and I was so ambitious. I wanted to prove to myself and to everyone that I can deliver and I will deliver. And probably with that ambition, I ran over many people, right, with their emotions. I did not really care about their emotions. I did not really took time to connect with them, that what is important to them. That was the biggest mistake that I realized during that time, that if you want to be in a leadership role, you first of all need to know your team. You need to connect with people. What Anita said, at humanitarian level first of all. And I did not take that time. For me, it was point A to point B, and we know that make a difference test. When you're working with the lion, they will just look at the end destination and they will ignore a lot of other things. So I think that was a failure, and I have no shame in recognizing that, because it made me a better person. It made me the person who I am today. So unable to connect to people, unable to respond to their emotions, unable to identify what is important to them rather than what is important to me as a leader was my biggest mistake.
Yeah, and then we all learn with our experiences, right? Or from our experiences when we go from one role to the next role. Because what makes you successful in one role may not make you successful in the next level role. And when you move from an engineer to more of a leadership role, managerial role, and things needs to change as you move up, right? And we all learn that. We learn by making mistakes. And one thing that you mentioned, courage, and I always see that whenever there's an opportunity, you jump. And you're like, okay, let me try this. And that courage builds capabilities, and those capabilities then make it, make professionals successful as we expand our capabilities. And another piece that you mentioned, Aki, is when you look at that beginning of your career, and especially people when they come out of colleges and they think, okay, I can make 6 figures just to start with, or I'm just going to look at my passion, and that's all, right? So when you look at passion, or what you really, can you align your hobby, your passion with your career? And everyone wants to be either, traveling the world or do something of that nature. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in the beginning, especially when you're coming right out of college, you have to pay your dues, and you got to have that ambition to pay your dues, move up. And then when you move up a little bit, that's where you need to learn, okay, now what you have gained as that specialized knowledge, whatever field that you're in, how now you can teach some more people. How can you be that coach for other people where you can help them grow, and that helps you be a better, successful leader. And Anita, how has failure shaped your life?
Well, I told you my great American dream got shattered. But as they say, when God closes one window, He opens another door. And for me, God opened up the entire rest of the world. So I got opportunities to travel across various countries, and what I learned was that when there's nothing left, the only thing that one has is their own endless resourcefulness. Each one of us are endlessly resourceful. We just need to connect to that. So I learned to recreate myself. That's number one. And with the never die attitude, how shall I put it? I decided to redefine HR. So now I'm being humanely resourceful. That's me.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Yeah, no, I think so. We all have, experienced those failures. And one thing that, I never thought of becoming a technologist. What happened there was, I don't think I shared this with you, Aki, in the past. I wanted to be a doctor. And I failed to get into a medical college because, again, we share that beginning as well, Jalandhar. With the PMT that I took, it was in the waiting list, and I was not able to get in. And that made me think, okay, what's next? And then the 96. Around 95, 96, computers, that was the field to consider. And that's what made me think of computers, go for computer engineering, and get into technology field. So sometimes those failures, if you don't take those failures, you get up and start up and running again. And you can pivot whenever you have to pivot in your career. And that is that's what's required from my perspective to be successful and keep going. Now,
that's such an inspiration, Sunny. It's such a commendable inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, Nita. And now let's talk about technology landscape, Aki. I know a lot of IT professionals will be viewing this. And one thing that you always think of is, hey, what are the top trending technologies that I can learn from the technology strategic perspective or the operational perspective? So can you share with us, you talk to a lot of our customers here in the US, in the UK, in Canada, in Australia, and you are having those technology conversations from a very strategic leadership point of view, where you are their technology VCIO or advisor, that how you can help them or our customers align their business or leverage technology to execute on their business plan. So what are the top trending technologies that you see in the market?
Definitely with changed in the environment around us, there is a huge push in terms of cloud computing. And with cloud computing, you also see a huge push in terms of cybersecurity, right? I was reading one of the articles, and and they were talking more about that. Most of the developed countries, they have built their networks. Mm-hmm. But what they are still struggling and then what they're still focusing on is securing those networks. And we see that from different bad players, bad actors are there in the society, where they're constantly trying to hack into your systems. They're trying to get some really important information on your organization and anything which is related to finances. So cybersecurity is one of the most important piece of the puzzle that every single vendor out there, they're trying to solve this by hardening their networks. Mm-hmm. So cloud computing, cybersecurity, also about artificial intelligence, right? We talk about machine learning all the time, and if you go to Wall Street Journal, you have the CIO forum, and you talk about all these big vendors, Microsoft, AWS, Amazon, and you talk about Elon Musk, and you talk about big companies, right? They are looking at machine learning. Artificial intelligence is going to be the future. I don't know if we are going to lose our jobs or not, or we will just become better than machines. I don't know about that. Maybe something on the human species that we have to figure it out. Artificial intelligence and IoT. Future is going to be the sensor-based world. And all these sensors are going to talk to each other. And one more, Sunny, I know you want to say something, but there is one more thing, which is they talk about Internet of Behavior. So if you look at your phone and you're trying to surf something, and if you're looking at something on your phone, you're talking something, you know that there is someone listening, right? And you all of a sudden you're getting all these pop-ups on your Facebook or social media. That is robocalls. That is, people are trying to understand the human behavior.
Yeah.
So Internet of Behavior is one of the other things that is going to be, it's going to change our world. But
no,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, but in terms of security, if I see today what is relevant, is definitely cloud computing, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and Sunny, that we are also at IT by Design. We have expanded our services. We were always, security focused organization, but with our recent partnership with Scout Security, I think that brought a lot of great relationships. And then we are taking a lot of strong measures for our MSP community to build those systems which are highly secured. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The cybersecurity is the future. With every more and more people having access to the online computing from their smartphone and everything, and especially now in the remote workplace when this pandemic made us think different in terms of work from home professionals and overall access to the cloud. So more and more data is available, on these networks, and cybersecurity is going to be essential for every single IT professional. They need to deal with cybersecurity piece. From software developers to everyone else, they need to make sure that they are thinking cybersecurity whenever they are building something as IT professionals. But on a lighter note, what I was about to say there was looking at the AI taking jobs, and no wonder you started becoming our wellness expert now, that you are shifting, because those jobs cannot be taken by AI, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So Anyuta, you are a very experienced HR expert. What's your advice to professionals in terms of what are the soft skills that they need to focus on? And if you have any advice for upcoming HR professionals, so in the HR domain, what's trending up, what they need to learn and grow?
Sunny, I just wanted to actually add a little more to what Aki said. So he spoke about top 4 trending technologies. And then he also brought up a point about machine taking away a lot of human related work. So I kind of differ there. There's never going to be a situation. So we all need to be really happy about that machines will not take away jobs that human beings can do. Top trending, skills, apart from artificial intelligence and Internet of Things and cybersecurity, are big data analytics. So HR can do a lot from there. Robotic process automation, is the way to go in the space of HR as well, which is trending up. A little out of scope, additive manufacturing, 3D printing, nothing to do with HR, but a trending technology that can be focused on. Social and mobile apps, that's the most way to go. So HR can do a lot from these applications and platforms. And last technology, again, whether it's related to HR or not, is augmented virtual reality and blockchain. But, that's just a little besides the point. So HR can actually do a lot in this space, be a business partner, be agile and adapt to the changing trends.
And especially data analytics, no matter what you do, you always, especially nowadays with everything being digital, being able to analyze data and make it more like actionable, reading that data and taking action from what data is telling you in terms of data story.
Yeah. So maybe data-based decision or data-backed decision is the way to go.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Now, so Anutha, let's start with you this time. What are the top attributes that you think a professional should have or makes a professional successful?
See, knowing the environment where the world is going, looking at what has happened, how the world has, gotten into this pandemic situation. I think the only way to do is, be conscious about where the economy is going, industrial trends. And I think IT, being the part of essential services, has been the industry which has thrived the most. So that's one perspective. And, also be conscious about gig economy. That's the new way the workforce will, get presented. So maybe professionals do not want to be, focused on being on the roles of a company or being on a particular work contract. Being adaptable is the need of the hour. And what's more important is to be active and productive, than to be selective right now. So I think that's the way to go.
Thank you, Anutha. And Aki, you lead our biggest division in the company, and you do a lot of hiring on a weekly basis. What are the attributes that you look for when you do that interview for the key roles that you're filling? What are the attributes that you look for during interview in these professionals?
Thank you, Sunny, for that question. The number one is communication skills, right? If you have good communication skills, you increase your value by 50%. And I'm not joking. If you have hard time communicating with others or just able to express your thoughts, then it becomes very challenging for people from different countries to really understand you. So number one, definitely communication. If you are in the technology world, so definitely have a passion for some technology, right? It does not have to be every single technology, but you want to find out what really, inspires you, and you want to be a subject matter expert in one of those technologies, right? So that will set you apart from rest of the audiences. And then always trying to learn. It's a never ending process, and especially in IT industry, you always have to learn and you always have to certify yourself with upcoming trends, right? So always try to learn. And the most important piece of our recruitment, Sunny, is identifying if you're humble, hungry, and smart, right? So if you are humble, right, that's one of the most important qualities that we look at. If you're hungry to move forward in your life, and you want to take on bigger roles, bigger opportunities, we look for that. And smart, just be very smart, right? Hard work is important, but smart work is equally important. So these are the few things that we look at. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. I thought as a wellness expert, you were also going to say mental resilience or something of that nature that you are teaching now by bringing in a lot of experts from outside.
That's a whole different podcast, Sunny, that we have to do, I guess.
Thank you. So in our closing remarks, I'm going to come to both of you and ask you if there is one tip that you have, if there is one thing that people can take away from this, professionals can take away from this to be successful in their career, what is that one tip from your life experience? Anutha, if you can go first, please.
Well, looking at the current scenario, the best way to be successful right now is to heavily network and not get limited by that. Use technology to your advantage. Social media, there's so many platforms that we can. And all we need to know right now, where the job market is very difficult, that 20% of the jobs are available on portals, while 80% can be tapped via networking.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you, Anutha. And Aki, what is that one tip from your perspective?
I think it starts from you. That's one tip that I'm going to give it to everyone who's listening this podcast, because I know it is very important for everyone. It starts with you. If you want to network, as Anita said, you have to take that opportunity. You have to initiate that trigger. If you want to learn more skills, you have to take a lead role in terms of increasing your skill set. And that's one thing that I will say, that do not wait for things to happen, because things won't happen if you don't make them happen. So that's what my thing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Aki. And I totally agree with that. And one thing that I want to share with the viewers is focus. So when Anita is talking about expanding your network, it is so powerful because it matters who you know and who you have in your network, because that makes a huge impact on your success. With Aki's, self-leadership, just getting up in the morning and taking care of yourself, it takes that self-leadership, because without self-leadership, you will not be able to have that complete journey that you want to have, a successful life journey, because it takes self-leadership to take care of yourself, to take care of your family, to take care of your career, and to take care of your legacy. It is important. Self-leadership is so important. And focus, when you choose your direction, when you are on that career path, staying away from distractions, because nowadays with social media, everything that's around us, and there are so many distractions, and staying laser focused on what you really are committed to do is so powerful. So expand your network, self-leadership, and stay focused. Aki and Anita, very, very valuable insights. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and sharing that wisdom with our professionals, our viewers. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. And I appreciate you taking the time to be my guest on this podcast. And for viewers, for professionals, we are hiring 400 plus people at IT by Design in 2021. If you are looking for a better opportunity where culture is important to you, that multi-technologies learning is important to you, and growth is important to you, we are inviting you to come join us, join our community, and grow with us. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Nita. Thank you, Aki. What a fantastic episode. And we want to take a moment to thank you, the listener, for taking the time to watch this episode. And we hope you took a couple of nuggets away. And if you did, be sure to hit a like and subscribe. And make sure you watch out for future episodes where we're going to have a lot more great guests coming up. And again, if you're interested in joining IT by Design, you can find all of our open positions at www.itbd.net. And we'll see everyone in the next one.